Hello there and welcome to my discussion on Sutton on the Water, which is my project located within the Barbican in Plymouth. So the key parts of the project were to make it very eco-efficient and to relate back to my dissertation, which was based on floating architecture. So what I've done is I've removed all of the boats that were currently there and replaced it with a floating town as such, with floating gardens. This image here is one of the pre-conceptual master plan concepts I did, which it ended up being very similar. In terms of the group strategy side of things, we've designed it around the key issues of the fact that originally you couldn't access within here, even though the docks were here, you weren't allowed access, which was a big drawback. So to compensate for that, I have allowed access from 3 multiple sides, whilst also linking in with a pathway throughout all of our public spaces, which this is public space. Here you have some residential areas, and along here as well. These floating gardens are accessible by a swimming boat or e-boat, and also provide a new aquatic life by adding in aquatic plants, which will help naturally cleanse the water. In terms of the Fab City Manifesto is the key area which I've focused on interacting with as the manifesto to my design, because you have the ecological side, which I felt was a very important side of things to have. The design itself is constructed from old shipping containers which are being reused into sort of apartments and units and other sort of different things, and locally productive. We want it to be made within Plymouth, and obviously stay here, and also Plymouth to become a lead innovator in the design of how floating architecture works in the world. It was a very experimental sort of subject. There's only a handful of sort of scenarios where this has been done, especially on a large scale. So in theoretical terms of things, this could become a long-term issue. Yeah. Some key precedents I looked at that really influenced my design, especially coming from the CC side of things, were these two, Oceanics and the IJ Berg in Amsterdam. This one is currently an existing area within Amsterdam, all floating, and this was a conceptual idea done by Bjarkingels, company big. I chose this one for the fact of its ecological side and the master plan of how it can be multiplied, which was what I wanted to do with my design, and not just have sort of a single unit that's floating. I wanted to create a colony that you could multiply and change the uses of. Finally, ending on the group work side of things, we have the group work synopsis, which I sort of wanted to discuss now. As a group, I feel we performed extremely well, whilst dedicating work to each other as well as signing off on our own. And we didn't really have a team leader, we just sort of went off by ourselves with it, or we didn't need a team leader because we knew how to sort of set the roles up ourselves. And we all sort of did an equal amount of work, with some people doing a larger scale sort of pieces of work, and then other people doing a more amount of smaller scale stuff. And yeah, the coronavirus definitely had a big impact on us, but I feel like how we responded to it and working as a group worked really well. And that will be everything. Thank you very much.